ladies and gentlemen, it has been our argument here that Jeb Bush is a damaged individual.
Come on, man.
I will say that he was probably damaged before he entered this race, or at least had that damage was sort of, I guess, late. It was dormant in him. It was benign at the moment. And maybe it was because his brother bullied him or whatnot. But the day that he got on stage, really even before then, it was back, I guess, when Donald Trump said, you know, the reason why Jeb Bush is all pro-immigrant is because of his wife, something to that effect. And Jeb did not stand up for himself. I mean, that was the beginning of this must have been an old scar, just ripped apart, just like an old wound, it just reopened. And even in that last debate, when Donald Trump wasn't there, it was as if Jeb Bush had a phantom limb. And that phantom limb was a third arm. And it was actually Donald Trump's third arm. It was Donald Trump's arm, I should say. And it was beating him over the head. And it was giving him a wedgie. And it was giving him a noogie. And it was giving him a purple nurple. And punch for punch. Like the whole thing, like all the abuse that I can imagine.
Actually,
he took
I could also
kid.
see a stop hitting yourself. Stop
Right,
hitting yourself.
right,
You don't want to
exactly.
be hit. Why are you hitting yourself?
Ow,
Why are you
not-
hitting yourself? Why are you hitting? You don't want to be hit.
Jeb,
Stop hitting yourself.
Hey, Jeb, how come you keep hitting yourself, man? Oh, why doing that? Oh, that's got to hurt. Oh, sorry. Now, of course, I'm doing George Bush at the age of 38, which I actually do imagine is when he was still doing that to Jeb. And it has left Jeb Bush in ruins. Here is Jeb Bush in New Hampshire. So sad, so pathetic, but also, keep an eye on this, it's not just pathetic, it's also maintaining a certain condescension towards his audience. Go.
So here's my pledge to you. I will be a commander-in-chief that will have the back of the military. I won't trash talk. I won't be a divider-in-chief or an agitator-in-chief. I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country, to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
In other words, I'm going to be a strong, inspiring leader. Please clap.
Even Trump might have a slight tinge of not empathy, but pity.
Here's the problem, okay, is that when
It's
he
true.
says, please clap, there's a certain amount of not just desperation in there, like, hey, this was supposed to be my big moment where I inspired you and my vigor permeated all of you so much so that it had to release itself from your bodies in the form of physical. But he's also saying, like, you guys don't get it. I'm so disappointed in you. It's not just I'm disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in you.
You don't understand how the process works. I just gave a real a barnstormer. I brought the house down, and you people are so stupid that you don't see
Let
it.
me armchair psychiatrist a little bit more. Not only was he bullied by his brother, but what we just saw was how his mother bullied him.
Definitely.
Because
Definitely.
that had the look. I could just see Barbara Bush saying to Jeb at one point, like, tie your shoes.
That was an entirely adequate speech, sweetheart. I can be persuaded to vote for you, I suppose.
You seem to have the things you need. I mean, it was just a quality of like, tuck in your shirt.
Shouldn't there be staffers there starting the applause? Like, isn't that a thing that they do? Like, have someone there that applauds when people are supposed to applaud to get it going?
Maybe they couldn't follow it either.
Right.
They're like, oh, shit.
Now, the other thing is, it's also possible Jeb did not realize he said that out loud. There's all sorts of, let's just play it one more time. But let's, for the sake of Jeb Bush, Matt, I want you to show a little bit more mercy and see how much they did clap after he asked them to do it. Okay, so allow the clapping to continue.
So here's my pledge to you. I will be a commander-in-chief that will have the back of the military. I won't trash talk. I won't be a divider-in-chief or an agitator-in-chief. I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
This is beanbag.
Now, I have a theory.
What happened to my applause? I wanted to let that applause go.
There's not in the clip.
Oh, okay.
Now, maybe, and this wouldn't work with ISIS because ISIS is ISIS, and it's crazy that we live in a world now where Al-Qaeda is slightly more moderate, but maybe.
Please surrender.
And they feel so bad for him. And they feel so much pity of just his sort of complete collapse as a human being and as a man and as just a person that they're like, you know what? Let's move out of Mosul just so this guy can have a win on the docket. We got plenty of other infidels we can target.
The Quran says.
The Quran says that if a man
Yes.
is so publicly shamed and humiliated that it is beneficial and merciful of Allah, even if he is a kafir, that you allow him one moment of dignity. So it actually could be a stealth pity strategy. Like, imagine Jeb Bush being able to come out and being like, there's actually a big reduction in terrorism. And they just give it to him.